Hi, everybody. My name is Eric with Smart Pot Fabric Planters, and welcome back to the Growing Revolution Smart Potcast. We've got another great episode here. We have Christian Klinger from Yerba Buena Farms in Oregon, and he's the cultivation manager over there. And they are fans of Smart Pot Planters. They're kind of leaders of the cannabis industry over in Oregon and have been for a while. And we got introduced to Christian via Instagram and thought it would be cool to get his perspective on how things are going out there. So thanks for joining us, Christian.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Eric.
So you're the cultivation manager over there at Yerba Buena. What do you do? What are your responsibilities?
Yeah, so over here, I manage a crew of 7 people, and we just make sure that we meet our deadlines. And I help with I help the bloom lead and the veg lead. Plan clonings, what we're going to clone. We sort of have a standard amount of plants per room. And along with the bloom lead, I help them, I help her go through, like, identify any issues, how to resolve these issues, what the issues might be, as well as, just be there for problems like irrigation pipes bursting or lights not working, that sort of thing.
How long have you been with Yerba Buena?
I've been with Yerba Buena for almost a year now. Yeah, I started last April, so in a couple months it'll be about a year.
How did they find you, or how did you find them?
Well, basically, I used to work at another grow, which was in Portland, called Proof Cultivar, and I just got a message over Indeed from a grower here named Sam Grayson. He's the head grower over at TJ's Gardens in Millennial, and yeah, he just contacted me, said that they have a position open, and just went through the normal interview process, and just from there, there was a head grower here before. I was originally hired as a bloom lead, and
Mm-hmm.
through just some unforeseen events, that head grower left, and I interviewed for the position and ended up getting it.
So you'd already been working at another dispensary before that. I was looking at your bio on Instagram, and it said that you had a Bachelor of Science in Botany. Where is that from?
Yeah, so I attended Portland State University for 4 years, and yeah, just studied botany basically from the beginning. And it was those 4 years flew by. They were just so fun because I studied something I loved.
Yeah. Now, did you go to school for botany with the idea that you were eventually getting into the cannabis industry, or for something else?
Originally, I went to Portland State thinking that uh, I wanted to go into orchids and conservation, and because my grandpa he had his own greenhouse with like over 1,000 different species of orchids, and so just growing up with that, it was really impressive. It was really nice to just like walk into his greenhouse and be like almost in a jungle.
Totally.
And then just just from you know here in Oregon, orchids aren't huge. It's a very niche industry, very
Sure.
niche market. A lot of people selling orchids are doing it from their own greenhouse.
Yeah.
And so the cannabis industry has always been something talked about because it's so new and it's such a large industry, like so much money in the industry
Yeah.
that it's always being talked about. And I remember my advisor at Portland State mentioned I should try and find something in the cannabis industry. So I ended up uh, reaching out to all these farms, asking if they had any internships or part-time positions open, and I ended up getting a part-time position at a micro-tier farm at first,
Cool.
called Panda Farms, located in
Yeah.
Portland, and they also, I believe, they also use smart pots.
Yeah, I'm
They're
familiar with
15
them.
gallon smart pots. Yeah, and it was my first ever experience growing, and Mike and Ned, they're the owners of Pan Farms. They're fantastic teachers. They taught me well. They taught me everything I know, and moving on to proof and here, it's just continuous learning, which is something I'm always looking forward to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think even college professors are always reading research papers and trying to gain knowledge. So, I think us as industry professionals, we should always try and be up in our craft, and we can always grow better plants. So you were familiar with smart pots before coming over to Yerba Buena. So that's pretty cool. Now, to my knowledge, Yerba Buena was using 1 gallon and 5 gallon smart pots before when I saw your Cannabis episode. Is that still the case?
Yeah, that's correct. We do a clone to veg transplant at the little 1 gallons, and honestly, that's my first time seeing a fabric pot that small. Prior to that, I've only seen 3 gallons, 15 gallons, but here I saw little 1 gallons and 5 gallons, and here we also reuse, we have our own commercial washer and dryer, so we reuse everything, which is, it's great, and they're so sturdy. They last a long time. We've
Yeah.
gotten countless uses from them.
Yeah, I mean, I know of people who have been growing indoors with smart pots for well over 5 years, just continuous use, and they just hold up. And that's kind of one thing that we pride ourselves on is being made in America with quality materials that stand the test of time. And I guess unfortunately, when you make something so good, resale, getting those repeat sales is less. But overall, I think a lot of growers appreciate a quality product that lasts. So that's been our business model is quality over everything. Um, so we appreciate you
Yeah,
guys
I mean,
being
I mean it's
customers.
yeah, I mean it's like even sitting outside for who knows how long, they still stand up. The only thing that gets to them are like field mice. They'll just chew through the pot, but other than that, like they're just so strong and sturdy, and we can just toss them in the washer anytime.
Yeah, yeah. I've been using mine for well over 5 years, and I think I could probably get another five out of them. Okay, so
Yeah.
what kind of soil medium are you guys using with your smart pots currently?
Yeah, so we get a special mix of soil that just comes straight from Canby, Oregon, and so we get it delivered like 2 cubic feet at a time, you know 2 cubic feet in per pallet, and we typically order 10 pallets, and it's really exciting because things coming up. We're planning on reusing that soil, just
Mm-hmm.
planning on re-amending it and figuring out a process of which we can put it back in, because put it back into our smart pots and just keep recycling our soil
Yeah.
because it's just going to get better and better from there.
Awesome. Awesome. Have you guys ever done any living soil growing over at Yerba Buena? Because I know I saw some over at TJ's on the Cannabis episode.
Yeah, so we don't do living soil, but yeah, like on Canna Cribs, yeah, TJ's does, and that's something I'm envious about because how much more biologically active can you get, you know, and it just gets better year after year. Sure, it's hard to start off, but it's all worth it at the end, and it's just so much more. It just is so much more satisfying to get numerous uses out of the same soil, and no need to correct pH because
Yeah.
the living soil corrects it for you.
How many times are you running irrigation through your smart pots there?
So we have three like main waterings a week, and so that's typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we hit them till runoff, and we'll spot water on the weekends as well.
Okay, nice. So you just
Yeah,
kind of
and
give
so
reading the
we don't.
plants and giving it what they need when they need it.
Yeah, exactly. And what's nice is that we don't see any like salt buildup or anything on the pots or really the tops of the soil. Occasionally we will, but that's like at the start of it we know to back off. So yeah.
Are you guys running any liquid nutrients or biostimulants through the irrigation water, or is everything in the soil already?
So we do run organic nutrients through BioBiz. We use their almost their whole lineup.
Nice.
Yeah, they got it's just consistent results, great formulas. They're all mostly derived from like a single source, which is like beetroot, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's great, and we can tailor it in different ways. We could, you know, it's just fantastic overall. And the only issue is that with this pandemic, and it just ruined the whole supply chain, and so sometimes it takes a little longer to get some product, but we just order in such large quantities now that we have like a nice buffering zone to last until our next arrival.
Yeah, I think the smart businesses have quickly learned that logistics can be your best friend and worst enemy if you're not watching out for those things and planning ahead and planning accordingly.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so how many strains are you guys currently running over at the Grow?
Oh man, we have around like 48 strains. Yeah, which
Wow.
is which is a it's actually a comfortable amount. I think in
Yeah.
here we have like five bloom rooms, and I think if when we fill each bloom room, we typically do 7 strains per room, and
Okay.
just because the way the room's set up, we got like 7 rows, and so that's a row per strain.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we
Nice.
fill up each bloom room like that, we can run through almost all our genetics, and so that we're hitting everything, unless they tell us like, oh, the market's looking for this, or this is really selling out well,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll accommodate to that, add like a couple rows or something like that.
Variety is the spice of life, but you got to focus also on what the market wants the most. And I guess along those lines, what are the top three strains that you guys are growing in terms of like popularity?
Top 3 strains, I'd say currently, man, I heard our CBD strains are actually like selling out pretty well. Like we have a lot of 1-to-1 or just CBD dominant strains, and those are actually being pushed out very well. Now I don't know if that's just because a lot of dispensaries in general just focus on THC dominant strains, or I'm sure you've seen the research come out about the CBD helping combat against coronavirus, but that's sort of like I in the research paper, it's the acidic form of CBD, but I don't know if people are just on a hype train about CBD strains now, but like our Blue Dragon Desert Frost, our Corazon, um, our CBD Kush, those are all being pushed out pretty well right now.
Really, not everybody uh, can, be mind altered. But people there's a lot of benefits from CBD compounds that people can be partaking in, kind of morning through night and still being productive members of society. So, it really makes sense to focus on CBD because, really there's a whole segment of the population that wants that and, or, they should be on it. And it seems like that is still a growing segment of our industry. So that's awesome that you guys are kind of finding a niche there and running that.
When I first arrived at Yerba Buena, I was like pleasantly surprised at how much CBD we grow because I'll go to dispensaries and I personally like one-to-one strains, but very little dispensaries around my area sell one-to-one strains. And I'll ask the bud tender about it, and they'll say, we ask for them, but we just don't get any for some reason. So that kind of bums me out. Luckily in the grow, we get our, oh, I was going to say, luckily in the grow, we get our, quality control samples. And so that's the way I can still get my, one-to-one samples.
Never trust a skinny chef is what I like to say, and you got to sample what you grow to make sure that it's good and it can pass the muster to the public. Um, Now, I guess, my next question was, what do you think sets Yerba Buena out from the competition? But I don't know, I'm kind of gathering that it's, big time your guys focus on CBD. Is there anything else that you guys, I guess, pride yourselves on being different?
Yeah, so I would say, yeah, apart from our CBD strains, I would say like mostly just how organic we are. Like we use all OMRI certified product basically, and we just get such good results. We also have a very like, how do I put it? It's like we have just a very organic, not so labor intensive IPM program through the use of beneficial insects.
Mm-hmm.
And so not only does it cut down on labor, but any, we don't need to spray anything basically past week two of flower. And
Yeah.
so that right there is just, I've never been to a farm before where we stopped spraying at week two. I've been
No.
it's here is just so surprising to me, and I was just so glad to have been a part of creating this new IPM program. So it's very rewarding.
Yeah. I have to only assume that the less spraying that you do in flower just ups the, especially the terpene level, with terpenes being, somewhat water soluble. So that just contributes to an overall high quality product when it's time to harvest them.
Yeah, for sure. And all
Awesome.
we really do is the only thing we really use is a knockdown spray. And after the application of a knockdown spray, the beneficials just take their time, do their thing, all the environmentals are dialed in, and it
Yep.
just creates a really, really nice, enjoyable product.
Growing indoors, we're just trying to dial in all the best aspects of Mother Nature,
Yeah.
keeping things controlled. Awesome. So, how is Yerba Buena keeping on the cutting edge of growing? Have you guys done any upgrades of lighting or irrigation in the last couple years?
No, not necessarily. It's just still very like your rudimentary grow, the only, we're starting to play around with our nutrients
Yeah.
a little bit, adding some new controllers here and there. But, it's just kind of your basic grow.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you guys, had been putting out fire before, why radically change anything? Especially in an organic, grow, there isn't too much reinvention that can go on there, anyways. So makes sense to me.
Exactly.
Nice. Now, had you hadn't grown any cannabis before getting into the industry, or like before college? Were you a cannabis user before getting into the industry?
Uh, I would say, yeah, I was in college. My first experience with it was, you know, probably beginning of high school. But other than that, it's just college. It would just really help me mellow out from all the testing anxiety, all the, just like, I think it was my last year of college is when the pandemic really hit. And so it's just like, I didn't want to be outside. It would give me anxiety, but we all got to go grocery shopping. We all got to,
Sure.
go to work still. And so just having cannabis really helped out, especially those one-to-ones,
Nice. So that kind of segues into my last question here is what's your favorite strain to smoke or dab? It sounds like you're a flower guy.
Oh yeah, I can't dab. It's just that's just way too much for me.
Yeah.
I've heard you get some really nice flavors. You can really taste the terps with dabs, but to me, like, I have a little handheld vaporizer, and I can taste the terps and just really get the most out of flower as possible, which is very rewarding for me because it's the fruits of our labor here is what we get to try.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'd
The
say, my what was that?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, continue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say out of the strains we have here, man, I think we have banana punch here. It's not a one to one or anything. It's just THC dominant, but we have a banana punch that's just so tasty, really stony. It's just perfect for, like, ending the day. You're home. You have nothing to do, just to relax.
Yeah.
So smoking that banana punch is just so nice. I always look forward to getting a sample of it.
Awesome. Yeah. Quality control. Um, So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to my next time up to Portland and finding a dispensary that's carrying your guys' stuff. How many dispensaries is Yerba Buena in right now? Do you know offhand?
I'd say around like five. Well, personally, like within the company, I would say like we have five of our own dispensaries, five or six.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it spans from like Portland's, like, TJ's on Powell. That's like our like flagship store.
Yeah,
And it just has such a nice environment in there, and it's everything's well displayed. Bud tenders there are amazing. But we have a whole swath of dispensaries ranging from Portland all the way down to Eugene. And so, yeah, there's plenty of options out there. And yeah, yeah. But when you're back in Portland, I was gonna say, when you're back in Portland, just come tour.
100%. We would love that as like a follow up episode. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Now, where can people follow like you or Yerba Buena on social media? Do you do any postings?
I have my own Instagram, but it's just sort of my personal one. I do post about the farm, but it's also my personal life. Um, but I would say Yerba Buena. So Yerba Buena's Instagram is Yerba, that's Yerba, period, Buena, Buena, period, farms. Another good Instagram account to follow is, let's see, it is, she's our veg lead here. She has her own like page dedicated to like the farm. It's mostly the veg side, so you'll see the clones, veg, moms, all that, and it's called hers is Coyote Cannabis.
As long as I'm seeing smart pots, that's
Oh
all I
yeah,
care
well
about.
that's all you'll see. So her page is Coyote Cannabis. That's Coyote period cannabis. So you'll see some
Awesome.
great great healthy plants. You'll see the use of the 1 gallons all the way through the 5 gallons, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to follow her. If I'm not already, I'll have to dive into the Instagram here after this. So, Christian, thank you so much for joining us today, getting to know, about you and what's going on at Yerba Buena Farms. Can't wait to tour our next time in Oregon. So, yeah, again, we really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure being here. It was nice meeting you, Eric. And yeah, anytime you're in the Portland area, just, you can send me a DM, and we'll schedule a tour and a follow-up episode.
As long as some quality control happens at the end of our tour.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice. Well, thanks again, Christian. We'll be in
All
touch.
right. Thank you so much, Eric.